again guys, Paul from Journey of a Petrolhead. We have the conclusion video here for the 2014 XF Jaguar with the big diesel engine that we've had on test. That is actually my car. Now, you would expect, because this is my car, it's going to score reasonably well on my test, but I tried to be reasonably fair with the standards we've described for all the various cars. As a recap, what we've tested so far, a 208 1.6 gave us 63%, a Hyundai i20 diesel gave us also 63%, and the little small 108 automatic petrol we tested a while ago, that gave us 76%. So, let's see where the big Jaguar goes. Okay, let's look at the wheels first. So the wheels, 20-inch wheels, nice design, and with a nice little red Jaguar badge in the middle. They really make the car look well. The XFs with the smaller wheels, the 18 wheels and the 17-inch wheels, I don't think they look right. The side profile of the tyres is too big and the car loses some visual impact. So the big wheels make a massive difference. The headlights on this are xenon headlights. They've daytime LED running strips, which are a nice design, and they look quite good. And the headlights themselves have a great range at night. You don't need your full beams all the time because of the main headlights, the dip beams, if you like, are really good in this car. There's no front fogs on this one that a lot of people use as driving spotlights. They're not driving spotlights. You shouldn't do that, but you don't need them in this car. What else do we have? We have folding mirrors. We have nice sports aerodynamic touches on the bodywork. We have a lip spoiler here on the boot. Spoilers down the side with lower stance on this because it's the S model. Makes it look really aggressive in car parks. It looks like a real car ready to pounce on you. So yeah, nice stance on this one. The front seats and the general interior. So the front seats are very comfortable. You can move them in 12 different directions. They're electric memory seats. They've got the nice lumbar support that we've seen on Audis before, and the seats are both heated and cooled in the front. And it's unusual that we actually have the same movement direction, I guess, in the passenger seat in the front that we have in the driver's seat. We don't always see that. Generally, you just get a passenger seat that can move up and down and backwards and forwards and tilt the back of the seat. In this one, you can move it the same way as you can move the driver's seat, so that's nice. The driving position is good. The instrument cluster isn't fantastic because at times you can't see the temperature you've set, you can't see the audio track you're playing. It's easy to get lost in the menus. We saw that in the interior video. So I would have expected better from the instruments themselves. That was a bit of a shame. The controls, however, are well placed. There are not too many controls on the steering wheel, which is a problem we've had before. So that's not bad. The centre vents, I like getting air out of vents onto my face. I've said that in previous videos. In this car it's not so easy. The air conditioning is automatic and it's dual zone, fantastic. But occasionally, if there's a big differential between the driver's side and the passenger side, the centre vents get confused and they try and do something in the middle. So you're either too cold or too warm depending on what the other person has set. So that's not fantastically brilliant. The other thing I don't like, the synchronization button to set the two the same as what the driver has set, is very buried in the menu. You have to go into climate and find it, so you have to take your eyes off the road while you're looking for this. Jaguar could have done better there. That's not really well thought out, I thought. However, there is paddle shift. I like paddle shift, except it's mounted on the wheel. Again, paddles need to be on the console, not the actual wheel itself. That's a bit of a shame, on the console behind the steering wheel. So that's not great, and there's no manual override in the center rotary dial for gear selection. So for example, when I had this problem before on an Audi where the automatic paddles would move as the wheel moved, I could override manually using the lever down the middle. I can't do that here. That's a problem. I've USB and auxiliary in. That's fantastic. I've a really good sat nav. That's fantastic. There's plenty of power sockets. There's lots of lights and power sockets and comfort in the back. Map reading lights are great. There's a load of legroom. The interior of the car is very nice. What are the other things I like? I like when you're in manual mode, pressing on a little bit and you get up near the top of the rev range, that the gear indicator glows yellow. It's a real sports car idea, which is fantastic. Jaguar, that's a really nice touch. I like the fact that the gear selector rises at the beginning when you turn the ignition on and the vents rotate. Now you can turn that off, but it's a nice gimmick. It's the only car I've seen it in. It's a nice gimmick, but it works quite well. I like the push button auto stop. I like the dimming mirrors, which are actually dimming in the wing mirrors as well, which is unusual in these kind of cars. Generally the centre mirror will dim, but the wing mirrors won't, and you're dazzled from the the side of your car. That doesn't apply here. They actually dip the wing mirrors as well automatically. That's a really, really nice touch. Jaguar, well done. Now, what else do we have? Road holding. Fantastic. 275 horsepower through the rear tyres. The tyres and the wheels on this car are huge. They really are big, and the power delivery is well controlled. So even when the car steps out of line a little bit, you can catch it quite easily, and it handles really, really well. It's quite a nice car to drive. The transmission is good in general, but if you're in fully automatic mode and you go to dynamic mode with the little race flag on the console, the gear shift gets very jerky and very sudden. I understand why they're doing that, because you're banging through and the throttle response is faster, but that's not well thought out. It's better dynamic mode with just a pure manual shift. That makes more sense, but you can't manually override with the gear selector. That is a shame, right? Now, what else do we have? The gearbox ratios, yeah, they're well judged for this car, but it's not quite as quiet and refined as a Jaguar should be. Now, I'm aware S level, so it's sports level, that's fine, but you'd expect a little bit more refinement maybe when you're just cruising at normal speeds, and we don't really have that here, which is a bit of a shame. There's great view from the mirrors. The wing mirrors are very good. In fact, they dip, I said that, but the actual rear driving mirror gives you a view through a huge big windscreen, or rear window. That's really, really good. I do like the rear visibility. It's very nice. There's no real blind spots as such, and there's parking aids everywhere. There's sensors on the back, there's a camera, there's sensors on the front. And it's very maneuverable, and it's very, very easy to park this car. That isn't really a problem. So it's a really, really engaging driver's car, but it's also a reasonably refined motorway cruiser when you want it to be. With the exception of what I've just said, Jaguar could be slightly more refined at times. In the engine bay, most things are easy to get to. We can't change the xenon bulbs, but we can't do that anyway. We can check the oil filler cap, or we can check the oil fill easily from the dashboard. We just push a button. When you turn the ignition on but not the engine on, you can then rotate using the trip computer. It brings you to an oil level display, so that's very, very handy. The washer fluid is easy to fill. The air filter is tricky to change because the clips can get sticky and they can get hard to reach. And the brake fluid is easy to determine the levels. So that's overall. Yeah, it's good. It also has quite a large boot, which I haven't actually shown in any of the videos. The boot is quite large, with a little bit of storage space here and there, and a spare tyre underneath. So all in all, it's going to be the best car we've tested so far based on what we've looked at to date. And this particular model of the XF, now bear in mind, the lower levels of the XF I'm not a big fan of, because you don't get half the spec level. You don't get the portfolio, which is the better seats, the better sound system, the Meridian sound system, and this is really, really good. You can set it to be Dolby Surround, so the sound is really fantastic for such a cabin with a lot of speakers. You don't get that as standard, but the Portfolio S that we have here with the big 3-litre diesel engine, that gets a Journey of a Petrolhead score of almost 96%. Now, that's not a bad score. Like and subscribe, guys, and we bring you more videos as we carry on our journey of a petrolhead. And also, don't forget to look at the website, web.journeyofApetrolhead.com. Cheers.